In this lesson, you will learn job vocabulary, how to talk about the future, and how to describe jobs.
Mapping the economy, career sectors. A career sector is a group of jobs that belong to the same general area. On this slide, we can see 4 sectors: services, commerce, security, and health. The services sector includes jobs that help people in daily life. For example, a chef prepares food, a waiter serves food in a restaurant, a cleaner keeps places clean, a taxi driver transports people, and a postman delivers letters and packages. The commerce sector includes jobs related to business, buying, and selling. For example, a salesperson works in a store and helps customers buy products. The security sector includes jobs that protect people and maintain order. For example, a police officer protects the community, a guard protects buildings or people, and a judge works in the legal system and makes decisions in court. The health sector includes professions that care for people's health. For example, a doctor treats patients, a nurse helps care for sick people, and a dentist takes care of people's teeth. This slide helps us understand that jobs are not random. They're connected to different parts of society, and each sector plays an important role in the community. Projecting your path, the future with will. Now let's study the future with will. We use will to talk about the future. It is commonly used for predictions, future ideas, and decisions. The basic structure is very simple. Subject plus will plus base verb. For example, I will be a doctor. She will work in a hospital. They will study English. In these examples, will shows that the action happens in the future. We can also use contractions, which are shorter forms. I will equals I'll, you will equals you'll, she will equals she'll, we will equals will, they will equals. They'll for negative sentences, we use will not or the contraction won't. For example, he won't work at night. I won't be late. Now we move to job descriptions. When we talk about jobs, we often want to describe them. To do that, we use adjectives. On this slide, we see some negative adjectives, such as dull, boring, stressful, tiring, dangerous, hard. These words describe jobs in a negative way. We also see positive adjectives, such as interesting, fun, rewarding, exciting, motivating, fulfilling. These words describe jobs in a positive way, but sometimes we want to make the adjective stronger. For that, we use intensifiers such as quite, really, very, extremely. The structure is subject plus verb to be plus intensifier plus adjective. For example, a teacher's job is very interesting. A firefighter's job is extremely dangerous. A doctor's job is really demanding. This slide compares a good job and a bad job. A good job usually has positive characteristics such as good hours or work-life balance, generous holiday entitlement, good salary, benefits and perks, a nice work environment, opportunities for advancement. These conditions make workers feel more satisfied, motivated, and comfortable. A bad job may include long hours, low holiday entitlement, low pay, stress, a negative atmosphere, few opportunities for growth. This slide is useful because it teaches students to evaluate jobs, not only identify them. For example, 2 jobs may both be legal and respectable, but one may offer better conditions than the other. Students learn to compare jobs and explain why one job may be better or worse. The world of work, professional profiles. Now we look at examples of real professional profiles. Each profile includes information such as the person's profession, their workplace, their duties, the kind of work environment they have. For example, a doctor works in a hospital or clinic and treats patients. A doctor may diagnose illnesses, give treatment, and help people recover. A teacher works in a school and teaches students. A teacher prepares lessons, explains topics, and supports learning. A software developer works with technology, usually in an office or remotely. This person creates programs, websites, or applications. A chef works in a restaurant or kitchen and prepares meals. A chef must organize ingredients, cook food, and often work under pressure. The time machine, present versus past perfect. Now we study 2 verb tenses that help us talk about experience and sequence, the present perfect and the past perfect. The present perfect is formed with have or has plus past participle. We use it to connect the past with the present. For example, I have worked here for 2 years. She has studied English since 2024. These sentences show actions that started in the past and are still relevant now. The past perfect is formed with had plus past participle. We use it to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past. For example, I had studied law before I became a judge. She had finished her work before the meeting started. This slide helps understand the difference between something connected to the present and something that happened before another past event. Applicant dossier, Brenda's career journey. This slide shows a career journey over time. It presents the life story of Brenda and explains how her dream, effort, and experience developed across the years. At age 15, Brenda had a dream or aspiration. She was interested in justice and wanted a professional future. Later, after years of study and effort, she became successful in her profession. The slide uses expressions with had to show actions completed before another past moment. For example, she had read many books. She had hoped to help people. She had become a professional after years of effort. Now let's look at a job advertisement. A job ad is a short text that gives information about a job opportunity. Usually, a job ad includes the position offered, the salary or wage, the schedule, the requirements, the duties or responsibilities. The position tells us the name of the job. The salary tells us how much money the person will earn. The schedule tells us the working hours, for example, full-time, part-time, morning shift, or weekend shift. The requirements explain what the applicant needs, such as education, skills, experience, or language ability. The duties explain what the worker must do in the job. This slide shows a practical example of job search and job application. Anna reads a job advertisement and checks the important information. She looks at the position, the schedule, the salary, and the requirements. Then she decides if the job is a good option for her. The slide also connects this situation with future language. For example, I will apply because I need a full-time job. This sentence is important because it shows a future decision using will. This slide compares several job opportunities. Each job has different information, such as schedule, requirements, duties, salary, or benefits. For example, one job may be part-time, another may be full-time, and another may require experience or computer skills. This kind of comparison helps students analyze options. They can ask questions like, which job pays more? Which job requires experience? Which job is better for a student? Which job has the best schedule? The anatomy of a resume, CV. Now we move to the resume, also called a CV. A resume is a document used to apply for a job. It presents a person's professional information in an organized way. A resume usually includes contact information. This includes name, phone number, email address, and sometimes location, education. This section includes school, college, training, or certificates. Skills. This section includes abilities such as speaking English, using computers, teamwork, communication, or responsibility. Experience. This section includes previous jobs, internships, volunteer work, or other relevant work history. References. These are people who can recommend the applicant and confirm that they are responsible or qualified. The hiring lexicon. This introduces important vocabulary related to employment. A job interview is a formal conversation between an employer and an applicant. An applicant is the person who applies for the job. A cover letter is a short text that explains why the person wants the job and why they are a good candidate. Qualifications are the education, certificates, or training a person has. Skills or abilities, such as communication, teamwork, organization, or computer use. Experience refers to the work a person has done before. Benefits are extra advantages a job may offer, such as health insurance, paid holidays, bonuses, or flexible hours. This slide presents the language of a job interview applicant answers. The interview often begins with a greeting and introduction. For example, tell me about yourself. Why do you want this job? What experience do you have? What are your strengths? The applicant responds by introducing themselves, describing their skills, and explaining their interest in the job. For example, my name is Anna. I am responsible and hardworking. I want this job because I want to gain experience. I am eager to learn.